If I had started Call of Dragons from zero today, this is exactly how I would build my account. I will show you what to prioritize at every stage, what to not waste resources on, and how to reach endgame efficiently. Of course, in Call of Dragons, we have a couple of stages in the gameplay. First one is beginner, second one is early game, mid game, late game, and end game, right? And of course, getting to end game in the strongest possible account is, of course, the priority for every single Call of Dragons player. That's why, for the progression, there is some golden rules of progression which I believe every single player should follow, no matter if you are a free-to-play player or spender. And those are the rules, right? First rule, don't spread resources across everything, right? Especially if you are a free-to-play player, you won't gonna have enough resources for everything in the game. That's why understanding when to spend and how to spend should be your priority. Focus on one troop type, especially for free to play players. For me, myself, I'm archer main, and that's why you can see I have most amount of troops for archers because I'm investing in all archer stuff. So basically, you can do same for mages, cavalry, infantry, or even flyers and overall, right? Don't waste universal legendary hero tokens, right? Those are the most important rewards in Call of Dragons because universal legendary hero tokens can be used on every single hero and they are the most valuable asset which you have to save up, especially during the beginning and in general for the progression. Build heroes for a long-term plan, right? In this game, we have a lot of legendary heroes. Not every single one of them are great for the future planning. So understanding where to put your legendary tokens is of course really crucial. Always prepare for the next major milestone, such as tier 5, such as making your artifact level 5, or maybe a next KVK when you know that what's going to happen in the KVK with seasonal features. That's how you can actually prepare yourself on a much better start. So these are the couple of rules which I believe every single player should follow, especially beginners, if you want to have a great end game in this game, right? So now let's move forward by topic by topic. First, stage 1, and that's beginners, right? For beginners, we are focusing on building priorities such as City Town Hall. That should be your number one priority because without City Town Hall on a high level, at least on 21 level, you won't gonna have enough legions, and on 21 level, you will be able to use 5 marches at the same time. Which researches you have to prioritize? Well, I have already said it many, many times. For beginners, prioritizing economy tech should be the priority because there are some research skills which will help you to progress, such as Scholarship 1, Scholarship 2, which is giving us some research speed, Architect 2, which is giving us build speed, and also, for example, breath control and stamina, of course, some of the most important researches which we have in the game. For military technology, for beginners, my advice will be to get to tier 5 troops as fast as possible. Uh, tier 4 troops means that even flyers should be tier 4. So basically, on military technology, focus on making every single troop the tier 4, no matter if the troops are not your main troop type. You have to have all of them tier 4. Your first hero, you have to prioritize on your first hero, right? Depending if you are cavalry hero, if you are a mage player, a marksman, infantry, prioritize one legendary hero and try to max that one hero. And the same goes for that. First troop type, try to understand which is your main troop type. If it is archers, try to recruit archers more than other troops by sometimes using your speed ups on some events which are going to help you out. Resource gathering, right? You have to have epic heroes which are great gatherers, right? Because gathering will help you, especially at the beginning. One of the best gatherers in the game, Flint, Pen, and Earlis, right? These are one of the best gatherers in the game, and my advice would be they are epic heroes, but try to awaken them, try to max the gathering skills because they will help you to get way more resources, which is necessary, especially at the stage of beginning, right? Gems. Gems are the hardest resource to get in this game and one of the most valuable currency. Try to not use gems on events. Try to save them up. Only couple of ways how you can actually spend your gems is to make your VIP level 8 in order to unlock second research queue and get one legendary universal hero token. And also to unlock second builder. That's also the one of the best ways of spending gems at the stage of beginning because it will help you to progress all the necessary important steps, which are buildings, research, and of course, those ones during the start of the game are the most crucial. Daily activities for beginners, make it as your routine, right? You have to clear all the daily quests and open the chest, and by this one chest you will be able to awaken epic heroes. And you can see from here I have awakened every single epic hero in this game, right? So these are the steps for beginners which you should actually focus on, and if you are going to focus on these steps, I'm pretty sure you already have amazing start of the game. So these are the steps for beginners. Now let's go to stage 2, which is early game, right? During early game, you already have level 21 city town hall. You have all tier 4 troops unlocked. You already have main troop type. You have at least one legendary hero awakened. And of course, in order for us to move in a stronger early game, we have some stages on early game also. City Town Hall progression. In early game, my advice would be go to level 24. That should be the priority on the early game stage. Not saying go to level 25 because level 25 will require us some gems to spend and it's basically not that important. I remember myself being level 24 town hall for at least 1 year, which was totally fine, right? So if the beginner stage was 21, on early game stage we have 24. Unlocking stronger troops, and unlocking stronger troops means unlocking some important researches which is going to make your troops even stronger, right? And those researches are defensive formation 1, 50% defense for all troops, a first aid 1, 50% HP for all troops, assault strategies 1, 50% legion attack for all units, no matter which is your troop type main. Every single troop is going to get this type of buffs, which will of course increase the strengths of your heroes. And of course, defensive formation 2, make it at least on level 6. Same goes for first aid 2, and same goes for assault strategies 2. These 6 researches which are for the troop types, of course they are giving us one of the best amount of buffs in terms of percentages in the game, right? So try to focus on them in early game, which will be a pretty good jump towards the mid game. Hero investments, right? As I said, in beginners we focused on one legendary hero. Now we are trying to have at least one full awakened hero pair, right? For the basic heroes, for archers, that's maybe sometimes Kinara and Nico. You have to have awakened both of them, like at least one full awakened legendary hero pair should be the priority for the early game. For cavalries, that might be Emrys and Bakshi. For infantry, that can be Garwood and Eliana. For mages, that can be easily, I don't know, maybe Welin and Thea, maybe even Welin with Waldir. If you are spender, of course, Lilia with Thea should be the priority, or even Lilia with Welin, right? So you have to have one first serious march, and both of the heroes should be awakened, because at the early game you have to have at least one good hero pair, which is going to uh, help you to get a lot of merits. Also, in early game, you have to start working on your second march, right? At least start working on a third legendary hero, which will be used on your second march, right? And for me, I remember my second march was Margaret, and I was adding some levels towards Margaret, and in the mid game, I finished my second march. I'm not saying in early game you have to build your second march, just start working on the second march. VIP progression, that's also a fact, and as I said in the beginners stage, you have to get to level 8, right? After that, of course, you have some levels to acquire, but I wouldn't recommend to invest gems on level 9, level 10, level 11. Try to get in a good alliance where people are spending and you are going to have a daily gifts by VIP points, and that's how you're actually going to have even more levels. From myself, I can honestly say I only put gems on level 8 VIP. After that, I have not added a single gem towards the VIP, and somehow I managed to get to level 15, which is actually possible, right? The next one is, of course, regarding artifact, right? You have to prioritize some artifacts for your main troop type, right? Like for archers, it can be Shadow Blades, Heart of Kamasi. For mages, Phoenix Eye, Tiar of Arbon should be somewhere here. For cavalry, Kingslayer, Sorland's Blade. For infantry, Fang of Ashkari is the one, and also the Deathless Wine. I believe Deathless Wine is better in terms of early game artifacts than anything else for infantry. So you have to unlock legendary artifact and make it at least level 2, 3, 4. Of course, 5 would be super good, right? So we are already starting working on artifacts in our early game stage, which is of course really important. And still, even in early game, we have to have a good resource management, right? Because it's super easy to waste a lot of resources in the game. And of course, even in early game, resource management should be your priority, right? So don't overspend, be smart whenever you are using your gold, wood, ore, and especially mana. That's our early game, right? And hopefully everybody is entering early game in a perfect way. And of course, after early game, we have mid game, right? And let me tell you what are the stages for mid game. During the mid game, you should already have two legendary hero pairs awakened, right? You already have to have two legendary hero pairs, and you should already start working on a third march, right? And for archers, I believe that's like Inara Nico, Margaret Zaida, and you are basically start working on Falgrim or Sibyl, right? Because 3 March for the account should be necessity, because there are some statue fights which gives you chance to use 3 Marches only. And of course, you want to maximize those points on statues and get some legendary tokens, medals, and a lot of rewards which you are getting from the statue fight. So we have to start working on a third march in mid game, and at the end of the mid game, you should already have 3 hero pairs which are working really well together and which are giving you pretty good amount of merits in the game, right? Artifact progression Since in early game we focused on shadow blades like normal draw artifacts, in mid game we can start working on more exclusive artifacts such as gilded crossbows, such as rattle spears, roaring ragers, maybe our mage player such as mirage orb. What else? Shield of stubbornness for infantry, Spirit Bone Torque, Thunder's Elegy, basically the artifacts which are not gettable from the normal draws. In mid game, we should already start unlocking some exclusive artifacts. I'm not saying to make them level 5. At first, unlocking will do its job, right? So try to at least unlock some exclusive artifacts because they will be very, very, very helpful. Troop training. Also, during mid game, we should already have some good amount of troops, right? So, if we already chosen our main troop type, we have to focus on them, right? And we have to wait for Hates of Power event and try to get more and more troops for your main troop type. At least minimum 1 million troops for your main troop type should be there in the mid game because you already have 3 March. At least you started working on your third March, and 1 million troops are minimum in order for you to actually start using your 3 March. So troop training in a mid game save your speed ups, especially recruitment speed ups, and you should be good to go. And since we have already 2 legendary heroes awakened, we have to participate in wars, right? Because participating in wars means getting merits. Getting merits means clearing your merit store, and from the merit store you are able to get some amazing rewards which will help you to power up your account even more, right? um, you have to start preparing for a seasonal content in a mid game, right? In early game and beginners, seasonal content is not much effective, but in a mid game, when you are already participating in wars, you have 2 legendary hero pairs awakened, you have some exclusive artifacts. Now it's actually matters the seasonal features which every single KVK brings us, and hopefully you are reading them or at least watching some videos because seasonal features are actually having a huge impact in Call of Dragons. So these are the mid-game tips which if you are going to follow, it will be easier and easier to get to the late game, right? For the late game, we have to start working on a 4th and 5th March. In beginners, we had 1 March. In early game, we had 1 full awakened hero pair. In mid game, we had 2 full awakened hero pair, but in late game, you have to have 4 marches which will be ready to fight. For myself, those are Margaret and Zaida, Ruby and Island, Olk and Milra, and Falgrim and Sibyl. These 4 marches are going to get me a lot of merits, and I'm already getting huge amount of merits for the current KVK. So in a late game, you have to have minimum 3, but at least like 4 should be the good point. 5 will be perfect, 5 March, but if you are a free-to-play player, 4 should be your target. Advanced research. Advanced research means that you should be getting closer to getting tier 5 troops. You should have already maxed out defensive formation 2, first aid 2, assault strategies 2, and you should be going towards tier 5. And of course, the first tier 5 troop which you are going to unlock will be your main troop type. For me, it was archers, and of course, my first tier 5 troops which I unlocked was spearmen, which is the archer troops. Also, in the late game, you should have war pets which are ready. Of course, I did not mention war pets in early game, mid game, and the beginners because it's not that effective during that time. But late game, you should already have at least 1 or 2 3-star warpits. In early game and the beginners, you won't have enough time to have 3-star warpits, but in a late game, you already played enough of Call of Dragons that you should have at least one or two basically 3-star warped, which is same equivalent as Awakening Heroes. For myself, for archers, I believe Shadow Manticore will be a good choice. Wind Weasel will be a great choice. You can see I have 3-star Northwind, and the Toxisaur will be a great choice. At least two of them you have to have 3-star, right? In terms of warpeds, start working on warpeds from the beginning, early game, mid game, and I think in the late game you will have at least one, or if you are playing this game frequently, you will have two 3-star warpeds, and you will have at least two legendary hero pairs with two 3-star warpeds, and trust me, they are going to get you huge amount of merits. Speed up management in late game, of course, it's important still. You have to use your speed ups during the events. And the best event for speed up usage is, of course, Hates of Power and Brink of War. These are the two events where I suggest you to use your general speed ups, and general speed ups are basically more valuable speed ups in the game. So, still, resource management, speed ups management still is the point during the late game stage, right? Artifact optimization, right? We already unlocked some exclusive artifacts in a mid game. Now we are trying to max them out. Right? Try to max your favorite artifact, at least one. And for me, it was Gilded Crossbow. It took me a lot of time to make it level 5, but in the end, I managed to do it, and if I manage to do it, every single player will be able to make it happen. Now I have 1, 2, 3 level 5 artifacts and trying to get fourth and fifth one. Rattle Spear or Unending Hatred will be the choices. But yeah, try to make your exclusive artifacts level 5. That should be the priority in the late game in terms of artifacts in the game. And level 5 artifacts will give you quite a good amount of merits. Trust me, they are super, super good. So, that's are the stages for the late game gameplay. Now, the most important, which is the end game. End game means that we are close to finish line. End game means that we don't have a lot of things to do in our city. End game means that only way you are having fun in Call of Dragons is PvP. So, in the end game, you have to finish your research tab at all. You have to finish economy tree, you have to finish military technology, you have to have all the tier 5s awakened, even the flyers, and you have to finish the pathfinding 3, the last research skill. Basically, during the end game, you don't have to do anything in research building because you are basically done. In endgame, in terms of hero pairs, you should have 5 marches ready to fight. This is my 5 marches, which I can use whenever I want. This is the late game, this is the end game 5 march, and for the end game players, trust me, only 2 or 3 hero pairs in during the war gameplay won't be enough for you to get merits, because in end game almost everybody is using 5 marches at the same time. Not only 5 marches, they have to be awakened. Right? At least 3 of them out of 5 should be fully awakened, and with the help of the recovery event, which is in game, it will be easier and easier for players to awaken. And also from the events, we are getting a lot of legendary hero tokens, and trust me, it's way easier right now to awaken heroes than it was whenever I started the game. So you have to have multiple awakened hero pairs in the game. High level artifacts. Basically, at least 3 or 4 legendary hero pairs should have level 5 artifacts. For me, it's only 3, like Gilded Crossbow is level 5, Iron Tusk is level 5, Roaring Rager is level 5. So in the end game, at least 3 March should have level 5 artifacts. If you are in end game and you are still using hero pairs with level 2 and level 3 artifacts, yeah, they will do their job, but they won't gonna get you huge amount of merits. So at least 3 or 4 level 5 artifacts should be equipped in end game. For the warpits, since in the late game we had a mandatory of having at least 2 warpits, 3-star. In end game, you have to have at least 4. For me, that's Wind Whistle, that's Shadow Manticore, that's Barbed Manticore, that's Snowpeak Rogue, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm currently working on Toxisor. Not yet 3-star, still a lot of things to do to make it 3-star. So, endgame, 3, 4, 3-star warpits should be there. If you are in endgame and you are still using 2-star warpits, no, they won't gonna do job. It's like using heroes which are not awakened, right? Like making your warpits 3-star is basically same thing as awakening heroes, and that should be your chance. In endgame, you are waiting for new heroes, right? For example, I'm Archer main, right? I'm focusing only on archer heroes. You can see my cavalry heroes, my infantry heroes, mages. I only invest in archer heroes. In endgame, you are already waiting for new heroes because you already invested in your troop main heroes and they don't need your attention more. So, next one for me, well, the latest one is G6 archers, which I'm currently investing, you can see. I'm gonna awaken these 2 heroes and I will wait for G7 archers. Until there won't gonna be G7 archers, I won't gonna invest in anything else when I already finished my G6 heroes, right? So waiting for new heroes will be a habit for you if you are in an end game, right? And KVK performance. In endgame, the only way how you can actually have fun in this game is fighting. Fighting against opponents in KVK, not farming or trading merits, only fighting will get you a lot of merits in this game. If you are in endgame, this is the time for you to use all your strengths. You have to use all the stages which we already mentioned and put your full power towards KVK. Be as active as humanly possible, because without being active, no matter how good is your account, you still will be bad for your alliance members. Because everybody wants to have active members in alliances. If you are not active, no matter how strong you are, you won't gonna be enough for your account. So all these stages are coming to the end whenever we are going to KVK, and KVK performance should be good. If you followed these stages, I can guarantee you that your account is going to get huge amount of merits. You are going to have a lot of fun in open field PvP, and Call of Dragons journey will be more enjoyable. I hope if you like the video, as always, press like, subscribe, share. It gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.